I've recently spoke a lot about my physical media collection, and I truly enjoy collecting. A lot of time, I like to walk into the store. So we got CEX in the UK, have a lot of DVDs, Blu-rays, video games, and technology and things like that. But their Blu-ray and DVD collection's huge. It's great, depending on the store, of course. And that's what's interesting is because it's used and it's specific to the store. You could go to one CEX and you look for a specific film and you can't find it there. You get something else. Maybe go to a different store and it's got different things in stock. So, and that's the interesting part is when you go a different one, you don't know what's going to be there. But sometimes when you really want to source a specific film, I prefer to, if I'm looking for a specific film and it's not available in my local store, for instance, or I'm not going out at the moment to go to the store, I'll just get it delivered. And Music Magpie's, in my opinion, if you're getting it delivered, Music Magpie's a better alternative because it's free delivery. CEX, for instance, they add £2.95 to every single purchase. And that's per item, not per order, because each item is sourced from a different store. It's too expensive. But if you go for Music Magpie's free delivery, sometimes some of the cases may come broke, but you can like reach out to them and they will send you another copy in most instances. So there's ways around it. Now it's nice to walk into the store, but of course not always practical when you want something specific. So like I've said in another video, I'm going for a huge romantic comedy section. I went through a whole phase where I wasn't interested in romance because I think it depends on where we are in life. Sometimes we try to avoid those things. Now I'm really open to it, and I love humor, I love comedy anyway, and I find romance comedies are some of the best. So my whole collection on my shelf, for instance, I've got action, I've got natural disasters, I've got magic for like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. We've got all sorts of things, Marvel. Then I've got things like Gladiator and things like that. But then I've also got a romance collection, and then I've also got a specific to comedy collection as well. So I've got a lot of films, and I'm going to show my recent purchases. I only recently purchased them. It's going to be a few days before they get delivered. But I thought I'd show them. I'm going to show in a huge list here, and then I'll show them in sections just to understand the price. They're very reasonable. So their selling price is a little bit dearer, but you'll see how much I'm getting them for in a minute once you bundle them. So all the films come in deals. It'll either be like 4 for £5, or that bundle you can also do 2 for £3. But effectively, when you break it down, it makes a bit more sense. And I'll explain it in a minute. It's not really economically good idea to buy one film. Let me just say that it doesn't make sense to do that overall. So we got The Wedding Date, we got Misery, Allegiance. So some are DVDs, some are Blu-rays. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it very clearly there, but I'll go through them separately so you can sort of understand the logic. So that's 10 films and it's cost me £15. So 10 movies for £15, I think it's great. And again, I'm moving away from streaming services. When you start, it's harder, but once you really get your collection growing, you're just adding to the collection, and the collection's getting huge. So now like I said, I've got specific sections now, and a lot of these films you can't guarantee will be on streaming services, just to put it out there. So I've done little tabs at the top here to make it a little bit easier. We'll do this one. So we're going to start on this one, 4 for £5. So I'm going to come out of this now because I need to make sense of this. I don't know if you can see it. So as you can see, as I was like making an order, I was like, wait a minute, The Wedding Date. Yeah, I remember The Wedding Date. I like that. So it's got the Deborah Messing from Will and Grace. And I can't remember his name. Dermot Mulvaney. I can't remember. I've seen him in films. They're great in this film. I love it. And as soon as I remembered that, I had to take something else off because I'm trying to keep within the deal. And I can get other films later. But for now, let's keep it this. So I remember that one. I thought, yeah, this is great. So it's £1.99 here. But as you can see here, it's also 2 for £3. So effectively, by 2, it works out £1.50 per film. But now if you do 4 for £5, it works out £1.25 per film. You see, so that's what I'm saying is like you can drop it, you can get a 2 for £3 and it works out £1.50, but you can get that all the way down to £1.25 if you buy 4. And of course, I'm going to buy more eventually. I might as well just get them now. So I try and keep things within the top tier of the deal. If I was really, really restricted, I could do the lower end, like 2 for £3. But in the back of my mind, it's like that means only 2 more films will only cost me £1 each or whatever it is, isn't it? So it's like, might as well get them. So I'm keeping within the deal just to make sense of it. So we got The Wedding Date, and then I've got this huge collection, which is crazy. And this is worth doing when you go and search for films. If you see a bundle, unless you really specifically a collector that wants the solo disc, which makes sense if you're really into it, um, you can get some good deals if they bundle it. And this was an incredible deal. So this is still part of it. So this has cost me £1.25 in the bundle. I don't know why it's not showing there. Maybe it's not in stock anymore. Oh yeah, it's not doing. So it's £1.95, £1.99 here. Again, 2 for free and 4 for 5. So again, it's £1.25 in this bundle, and it literally includes 4 films. So this 4 films counts as one. And we've got How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Just Like Heaven. I don't know if it's going to let me zoom in. Oh, it's not. Failure to Launch and Forces of Nature. So I already have Failure to Launch and Forces of Nature, but I can give them to my daughter, for instance. I wanted How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I recently watched it and I want it on disc. And I was like, yeah, that's the one I want. So as soon as I searched for that, I found this bundle. And I like Just Like Heaven with Reese Witherspoon. A one bundle for £1.25, so 4 films. And this is what you'll be able to do. So effectively, I've got, for £5 now, 4, 5, 6, 7 films for £5 now, because that was a box set that's included. Crazy. Actually, no, I've got 8 because there's another box set I'm going to show you now. So I wanted She's Out of My League. I recently watched it. It was funny. Again, it's £1.99, 2 for £3, or 4 for 5. We're doing the 4 for 5, so it's £1.25. But it also comes with a Paul Rudd film called I Love You, Man. I'm not sure if I've seen it or not. But I could have had She's Out of My League on its own, or for the same price, just get this double box set. And I thought, well, I might as well just do the double box set then. Get 2 films for this. Again, this has cost me £1.25 overall for this film. And it's 2 films. This is what I'm talking about you leaving streaming. Eventually, once you've got your collection, you don't have to spend money. And if you do, you get to, even when you spend money, you're picking the films you want. So even if every month, instead of paying for the subscription fees, you paid for the films, you're building a collection curated to your interests and the things you like. So even if I spent every month, I don't care because I'm always adding a film that I like. Whereas when the streaming services aren't always curated to what I like, it's very minimal. And you just keep paying and paying to watch the same films. Well, I'm paying to watch something new. And then if I decide not to, then I'm not paying anymore, am I? That's the point. Plus, it's nice to have something tangible. And then I remembered this film. And I was like, oh, I remember this film. I know you argue it's girly, but I don't care about public images and shit. If I like something, I like something. I'm not like the macho guy that only watches action movies and things that blow up. I've got a bit more of emotional depth to me that I can actually relate to other films. This film is incredible. I remember it. It's got Mandy Moore, A Walk to Remember. I'm pretty sure she was dying or she had cancer or something. I can't remember 100%. But I remember this guy, I think, was a bit rude at first, and then he took a liking to her, or something happened. I think he had to spend time with her or something, and then she managed to give him humility or something. So I was like, I remember this film. So I've added that. So that's where I'm up to with my 4 for £5, which, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. But that one's got 2, that one's got 4, 6, 7. I think I've got 8 films there for a £5 because of the way these 2 bundles sat. The box sets, that's crazy. So that's that set for £5. That's a lot of films, isn't it, for a £5? I think that's a bargain. Bargain for me. And then we got this one, buy one get one free. So these are £1.99, but they buy one get one free. So of course it's working out £1 a film. And that's how you have to do the logic. You have to work out how much of each individual one's costing you. Now it started off, this whole me looking for some films started off with Jersey Girl. I'd recently watched Armageddon with my daughter and was watching it, and I thought, I forgot about Jersey Girl. I like Jersey Girl because Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck are in it again. And I'm pretty sure it's his daughter. It's a great film. I think it's incredible. I always liked this film. And I was like, yeah, I need to look for that film. And I found it, and I was surprised it was buy one, get one free. Now, it seems better than it is to buy one, get one free. I mean, it's still £1 a film, whereas the 4 for 5 is £1.25, so it's not much different in price. So if you don't specifically want something in the buy one get one free, I wouldn't actually just say only go there because it's cheaper, because it's literally not much more for the others. But there's some great films in this buy one get one free section. So to go with that one, because obviously the next one's free, there's no point not. I've got Josh Hartnett's 40 Days, 40 Nights. I can't remember it 100% in all honesty. I just remember it was a good film. I thought, you know what, we'll grab that. So I prefer Blu-rays, but if I have to get certain films on DVD, I'll do it. And that's what I'm at, because, it's no point being too pompous with it. Some films don't need to be in the highest definition, and I think these 2 don't specific. Then we've gone 4 for 8. So these ones are more expensive because bear in mind how many films we just got on the 4 for 5 collection. To pay an extra £3, I know it seems trivial, but when you're in this collecting mode, it makes a huge difference, doesn't it? Because for £2 more, I could have, if you're doing 4 for 8, for instance, £2 more, I can have 8 films on the other collection. So the 4 for £5, I could have done that twice, couldn't I? So if you're doing 4 for 8, it's like you're getting 4 films, but for £2 more, I could have 8 films. Of the other collection, the weaker one. But there's certain films that you're gonna want, and for me, it all stemmed from this film, to be honest. How do you know? Recently watched it. I was at my mum's, and it was on Sky. I think it was on Sky Cinema. I might be wrong, but no, she had to buy it on Sky Store. Actually, I think silly. And again, I made the point there that I think she rented that one actually. But either way, it was like £7.99 or £3.50 to rent it. And I was like, that's crazy because I can get it on disc cheaper. Effectively, this is costing me £2 on Blu-ray. Whereas if it was also available on DVD, where I could have done the 4 for 5, but I decided to do the 4 for 8 because I'd rather have it on Blu-ray. But that's still crazy. It's cost me £2. Whereas to rent it on Sky Store was £3.50. Make it make sense. This is still HD. Same quality you're going to get through Sky. Actually, it'll probably be slightly better on Blu-ray because the bit rate's far higher. So anyway, just to make it clear that, we think deals are deals on these digital platforms. They're not deals at all. They're terrible pricing. So yeah, I've ordered it, and because of the deal, I was like, what's the point of me paying £3, for instance, when for £2 more I can get another one? Might as well do the 4 for 8 because it just makes sense because you're going to end up buying these other films later anyway. So I don't just obviously in terms of value, if you're going to go higher spec, you want Blu-rays most of the time. But I make an exception because there's a certain film that I absolutely love. And I haven't got it, and I'm like, we need it. And that is Misery. I love the book, and I love the film. The film itself, I think it's about £10 if you want it on Blu-ray or something like that. So I thought you would just get it on this collection. It's costing me £2 in the deal. When you look at £2.99, for instance, you think, oh, it's £2.99. That's how you're looking at it. But you have to put your head on and say, wait, by the time we do the deal, it's cost me £2. Is Misery on DVD worth £2? Hell yeah, it's worth £2 because I absolutely love it. I think because I'm an author, a writer, I gravitate to writing films. I love Secret Window. I've got that on DVD as well. So yeah, I think that's probably why. But she is nutty and it's fun. Allegiant, I haven't even seen any of them. I've got the other two because my daughter recommended them, and I needed this one to finish the collection off. And it's like, well, you might as well do it, especially when things say this item low in stock. It's like, might as well just grab it now because we're already doing the deal. We might as well get it up. Because effectively, and this is what's good. By the time you bought 3 films, 369, so you're already £1 over the deal. That means the third film's free. So you can either look at it like every film's £2 each, or you can look at it like the fourth film's free. And then I went and got 310 to Yama. It's a westerny sort of film, but I remember I can't remember the premise, but I remember I really liked it. Russell Crowe, Christian Bale. And I was like, yeah, we're going to get that. Especially considering, I don't know if that said it was low stock actually when I ordered it. I can't remember. I think it was low stock when I ordered it. Whether it's still low stock, I don't know. Oh, no, it is. Yeah, it's sold out. Because now it says add new for £7.69. You can't buy it used. I got the last copy. Now, there is a risk with that. When you get the last copy of something through Music Magpie, there's no guarantee you're going to get it. Because they list on their main store, but they also list on eBay and Amazon and things. So of course, if it sells somewhere else as well, there's a conflict between the buyers who gets it, who gets the copy, who doesn't. Sometimes they don't hold the order up. They'll send everything out that they've got it, but they might leave that one missing temporarily in anticipation that someone trades it in, and then it's in their portfolio. And then after a while, if it's not available, they'll just cancel it and refund you. But they'll get the rest of the order still. But yeah, that's what I've got. So it's like £15 worth of films. But I think I've done bloody well with £15. Effectively, for the price of a brand new release, you've got all these Jersey Girl, 40 Days, 40 Nights. Again, like I said, I'm on a bit of a romance comedy sort of venture at the moment, and I'm enjoying it. But yeah, that's not all I've got in my collection. My collection I think is so vast at the moment. That's what I want to pad up. I've got enough action films. I've got enough drama. I've got enough other things. It's like, let's just get some of these. I just really like the romance comedies, to be honest. And even just a romance, even if it's not got comedy, I'm enjoying it. Um, and it's sometimes like you'll think of a film out of nowhere and you go, oh, yeah, I want to get that. But it's a good way of doing it. Like I say, I like to go in CEX and walk around the shop and grab a film. Um, because sometimes it's even cheaper in there. They vary in price, of course, between CEX and Music Magpie. But both places are great to go. I think if you only source from one location, you're sort of you're losing out. I think a lot of content creators they like to go in CEX just because for their content, but you find Music Magpie is just as good too. Um, and I'm not sort of pigeonholing myself in just one direction. It's just I want to watch what I want to watch. So I've just got to wait a few days now. So I've ordered it Wednesday. I'd expect to get it maybe by Monday. I'm in no rush, but it'd be nice when it comes. But I thought I'd show people really the process of ordering, really, and I just try to stick to the dates because when my daughter orders, she orders for herself now because she's got into collecting too. But I always have to remind her just make sure you keep an eye on the deals because if you just want one film and pay it, you're losing so much because if you go and buy something else again later, but you could have had a free films, it just doesn't make sense not to do the deal. Because it's free delivery, it's easy just to order something, just buy one film and then just get another one later. But then by the time you've done all the, I know it's trivial, but it's like you pay £2 a film. Let's say you think, oh, I want that, it's £2, I'll grab that and I'll grab it later. But the thing is, if you'd done the four at once, it was only £1.25 a film. So you're getting more for your money. It's crazy. So my mind can't switch off from that. I have to do the deals. So if I want one unless I desperately want one, so like for instance, I nearly just got instead of doing the whole Blu-ray deal, I nearly just got how do you know? Because I just wanted it and it was the last one in stock, and I thought if I don't hurry up, someone's going to get it. It's an ex-rental copy, which I don't usually go for, but because it's the only available one, I did want it on Blu-ray because I like it. So I nearly cancelled. I nearly didn't bother with the deal. But by the time you're paying £3, I'm like, what is it like? About £5 more for the rest? Is it £5 for? Effectively, you're paying £3 already, but then you're paying £5 after that for 3 more films. So it's like, you might as well just do it because I know 3 to 10 Yama is a bit more expensive elsewhere, I think. But yeah, that's my collection, and I'll probably still scour around now because I've got. If while I'm here, I don't know if I can show it. Ooh, I don't know if I can show it. Basket empty. I don't think it's going to come up. It doesn't come up. Oh, it does come up. Your saved items. I've got 144 items on my saved items. Now, it doesn't mean I need all these because some I've tried to remove. Like, for instance, if we look here, we've got ET twice. This ET on DVD is part of that for 8, but they're also selling it for £5 on its own. In this example, it's very hard. That's only the last one in stock last time I saw. But I'd rather, so in some instances, I will go outside the deal because I think, would you naturally pay £5 for ET on Blu-ray? Yeah. Well, you might as well just pay it instead of keep being cheap. It's not about being cheap. It's like don't get caught up too heavy in the deals to the point where you miss a good opportunity. Because I'd rather have it on Blu-ray than DVD. But a lot of these, if you see 199s, they're either 4 for £5 or buy one get one free. How do you know? I'll probably keep the DVD there for my daughter. So we've got both Bill and Ted films because I started going a bit nostalgic for the early 90s and the 80s. We've got Goonies. I remember Role Models being quite funny with Paul Rudd and the guys from Superbad. Pitch Perfect 2, I still need that because it finishes my Pitch Perfect collection. The Faculty, I remember that film, so I've added that, but it's annoying. It's it's one of those cult following ones, so the film's not cheap. If you want it on Blu-ray, I think it's like I don't know if it was £10 or more. So it's quite crazy, but for such an old film, for specifically. But to get it on DVD, for instance, you've got to pay a premium. So effectively, it's the price of a Blu-ray. So it's crazy. So I was like, I can wait for now. These ain't films I'm desperately getting, or I'm definitely getting. I actually thought about Hannah Montana, weirdly enough. I'd never really watched it growing up, or because it was a different era to me. It was like, but now I'm thinking, I wonder if that's interesting. It's a bit light-hearted, isn't it? Jerry Maguire I used to like. Yeah, so some of these I've just put on, but I'm thinking along the lines, do I even want to watch them? Look, Flight of the Navigator surprised me. The fact that I've got that on VHS, but it's on DVD is pretty cool. But again, it's one of the premium ones where it's the equivalent of Blu-ray in the higher rated 4 for 8, so it gets a bit more. How desperately do you need these films? Um, Sex and the City. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'd get them, to be honest, because they were in CEX. They're 50p each. That's cheap, isn't it? You can get them for 50p each in CEX. And even the box set, the TV box set, was quite cheap too. If anyone's interested in those. Harry Met Sally. I've actually already got that. I don't need it. Oh, we're gonna get Just Like Heaven. I don't really need now. It just keeps things. If I think of a film, I just add it, and then we can figure it out. I can figure it out later. Like, guess who I've already got. So I do want to get Knocked Up at some point, but I'm thinking of getting it on Blu-ray, and it's not part of the deal on Blu-ray. But I'm thinking I'd rather just wait and get it on the one platform I'd rather have. Date Night. I don't even know what Date Night is, but I'm intrigued by it. Steve Carell. And oh yeah, 310 Yama. I don't need now. What Happens in Vegas? I think that was quite funny. I'm not sure. There's no point me getting anything I'm not going to watch. That's the thing. My daughter's getting into Tinkerbell, so I just started whacking all the Tinkerbell Blu-rays on, even though she's got them on DVD. Sleeping Beauty is the one I'm actually missing on Blu-ray, so I've actually got that on my list to get at some point. But again, it's one of the premium ones, so I'm not rushing. Divergent, I don't need anymore. Identity Thief, yeah, that's a good film. So what I may end up doing is another bundle. I'm probably likely to do another 4 for £5 because what's £5? But again, you've got to take account of what you've already spent, because otherwise you can get out of control with that. You forget you've just spent that, and then you add more. But I don't think there's anything wrong with building a film collection, because I think that's the difference between a book collection, a film collection, and a video game collection. For the most part, when you play video games, you play the same game repeatedly. When you read a book, you tend to read a book and then leave the rest in your collection. With movies, you can come in between. You can just watch all of them again and again and again. So there's nothing wrong. I think it's good to build a movie collection up. It's almost like your personality. Oh, look, you got Simple Wish. I've got that on VHS. Dumb and Dumberer. That's an interesting one, because I hated that when it came out, because it was a different cast. And then I grow to really love it, because you've got to remove yourself from the fact that it's not Dumb and Dumber. It's not Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels, but these guys are still funny in themselves, and it's silly and it works. And I think it's good. But I know there is a box set where it's got both films together, so I might have to sort of look for that. Wedding Singer. I used to love Wedding Singer. But I think some things, like, sometimes we grow different. Something you liked before, you might not like so much now, you know. I'm not sure that one. Notebook I got on DVD. I think I was thinking, but that's a Blu-ray, this one. So it's not on any deal, but it's separate. I'm not sure. Don't need Maze Runner. I've got all the Maze Runners now. Daddy's Home 2. I don't know if I've got that on Blu-ray now or DVD. I'll keep it in the list just in case. So these are music films, music DVDs, and things like that. And that's where I'm up to. So of course, you know, it's room for improvement. What I like to do, just while I'm talking, it's a bit different on your phone. It looks similar though, but you go hover over film and TV here, and then on the left side here, down one of the menus, you've got 2 for £5 or 4 for £8, or you've got the. So I just go, look, you've got the 4 for £8, or you've got 4 for £5, or you've got buy one get one free. And what I'll naturally do is pick one of the ones I want. So let's say I think, what's on the 4 for £5 at the minute? Because that's a reasonable price. And then what I naturally do, I'll first of all look at the first few pages, because sometimes there's films on DVD that just aren't on Blu-ray, or maybe the Blu-ray version's really expensive. So I don't want to alienate all DVDs and just say, I'm only going Blu-ray, because I may miss out on some bloody good films. So I try to look for a little while. Look, we've got The Shining now. God damn. Let's start. This is where it goes. This is where you start getting into it, because you start really getting. I mean, obviously at the minute it's all Christmas films. I think they're doing it based on popularity. So the trouble is, Christmas has dominated everybody's attention at the minute. The Ghostbuster collection's good. So what? Well, I've got One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but that's well worth grabbing for people who need that. Even Gremlins. Let's have a look. Oh, look, Planes, Trains, Automobiles. Love that. Got it. Lost Boys. Never watched it. Never seen Lost Boys. Hocus Pocus. Now that's worth grabbing, because when the Halloween comes around, that bloody film shoots up at Halloween. I always thought that if you're going to get it in the winter period. This is good though, isn't it? Guardians of the Galaxy 2, 4 for £5. As cheap as anything. I still need to get the third one. And that's in Blu-ray, by the way. So what I do, I look for the first few pages, see if I'm interested. If I'm not right to get any of them, then I move over to this left side and filter. So you can filter this 4 for 5 into Blu-ray only, and there's 1,081 Blu-rays, which is pretty cool. But in comparison, there's 15,000 DVDs. So there's 1,000 Blu-rays, but there's 15,000 DVDs. Got a bigger library. Of course, that's a lot of Blu-rays, but just think how many DVDs you're missing out on as well. So I think it's worth having an open mind. But, there's no doubt you'd go through this and find some films of interest. A lot of the time, it have maybe the first two films of a series, if there's a trilogy, and maybe the third one in the trilogy will be in the higher rank, or it might not even be available. Like, for instance, the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is never going to be in any of them right now. But there's plenty of good films. Lady and the Tramp, Avatar. Problem is, I've got most of them. It's the problem. I'm pretty sure I've got the Captain Americas now. I think I've got all 3 Captain Americas. I need the second. I think it's the second Spider-Man. The second or last. I think Far From Home I need. I don't want to make a whole process of this, but I'm just showing how I do it, really. So you go and you filter it. You can filter it all, and you get some good deals. Again, you can look. You got to forget that it's $1.99. You just got to look at it like it's 4 for £5. So you just find 4 films. Effectively, your basket will get out of control, but then you just whittle it down and just keep track of it. It gets a bit complicated because the buy one get one frees are also $1.99. So the 4 for 5s are $1.99, but so the buy one get one free. So it's try to keep track of it a little bit in your mind. And then, like what I do on my computer, for instance, I right click each of them, so I got an idea of which ones are the 4 for 5, which ones are the buy one get one free. Because if you mistake it, you're going to pay extra for nothing. Like, for instance, if you was to add an extra 4 for 5, thinking it's a buy one get one free, for instance, you've now got 5 films, but you bought for 4 for 5, but now you're paying $1.99 on top for the one on its own. Meanwhile, you've paid $1.99 for the buy one get one free, but there's no free one with it. So you're paying $1.99 separately for 2 films. It's just, you got to keep your head clued in with it. Because what you can do is actually, if you really can't manage that, is you could just do one order, pay for it, and then you can do another order. So you can do an order for the 4 for 5, let that go, and then do another order for the buy one get one frees. Because they'll still if you do it within the same day sort of thing, a lot of the time they'll just package it all together anyway. Not that it matters either way, but yeah, it's one way to manage it. It's free delivery anyway, isn't it? So there's no reason to really force yourself to make a massive basket if you choose not to. But Music Magpie, I think, is a great option. I've never had a problem with them. But yeah, and it's still nice as well to walk around CEX just as a shop, but I don't confine myself to one or the other.